Okay, since Good Luck has started recording, I'll say the topic again. Has social media contributed to the rise of mental health issues among African youth? So a bit about this topic. Some of our young people that we know, our kids, maybe our young cousins, brothers, etc., are always on their phones. Have you noticed? They're always on their phones, browsing through TikTok, browsing through Instagram. They're always on their phone, 24/7. So by being on their phone, does it contribute to mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, suicide for some reason? Does social media contribute to that? And is it is it a reason why the youth would go to such length as suicide, and then also have these mental health issues like anxiety, depression, etc., etc.? So yeah, that's basically a small summary of this debate. Okay, so hands are raised. Please just say yes or no, and then you state your reason. Okay, so Hannes has his hand up. After Hannes is Haulate. After Haulate is Luandi. After Luandi is Nelson.
Yeah, thank you so much, moderator, for the opportunity. Yeah, good evening, class, or good evening, all honorable dignitaries. To start by, what I can say is that social media can offer both benefits and risk. The risk here are as follows: we can have cyberbullying, increase to stress, exposure or harmful content, addiction, or social isolation. Whereas has got its own positive impacts, such as social connection, support networks, access to information, reduce the stigma surrounding mental health by raising awareness and encouraging open discussion. That's my submission.
Okay, thank you, Hannes. Yes, yes. Also stress. Yeah, some of our young kids are stressed. They get agitated easily, yeah. And maybe social media is the reason why, because they get snappy real quick, and you don't know why. So yeah, thank you, Hannes. Halate, you're next.
Thank you so much. Um, I am of the idea that social media both causes problems with mental health and also not so much. So I will explain why I say that. Um, First of all, social media fuels a lot of toxic comparison. Such platforms like Instagram, for example, they are filled with influencers who showcase their perfect lives, wealth, beauty, and a lot of success. And for many Africans who are facing poverty and inequality or limited opportunity, this fosters feelings of deep inferiority and a lot of anxiety. So, while on the other hand, also, you might want to say that uh, while we see what's happening, social media is not the root cause of such issues. It is just a mirror, it's not the maker. African youth are facing mental health pressures that come from poverty, from unemployment, abuse, and a lot of cultural stigma. So, what it does is basically just to mirror what is in the society. It is not the root cause. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Halate. Yes, yes. Also peer pressure. I want to be like this celebrity, or I want to be like this influencer. That can also have an effect on the mental health issues, because these youth, they want to be like this person, but yet they don't know that this celebrity, it's not always as it seems. It's too good to be true. So yeah, peer pressure also has a way of contributing to mental health issues. Thank you, Khalati. Luandi, you're up.
Thank you, everyone. So I'm actually going to take a similar stance to that of Kaolate, in the sense that, yes, social media has contributed to mental health issues among African youth in the sense that online validation equals to self-worth. You know, since we have limited opportunities offline, like unemployment and all these things that plague our lives as youth, we normally see social media as the only space for recognition, in the sense that when we see that as the only space, it causes that anxiety when we don't get the form of validation through likes, shares, and or follows. And on the contrary side, I think mental health, like the mental health infrastructure, is a bigger issue, because we are in African reality where there's lack of access to mental health services and there's stigma around it, and underfunded systems that are the core causes, not social media. And thus many youth suffer silently due to cultural beliefs that mental illness is a spiritual or moral failure. So social media can both be detrimental, but at the same time, it is not the root cause, as Haulate stated. And the fact that social media is just one of the symptoms that contributes to mental health detriment in African youth. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Luandi. Yeah, the thing of I want to have the most likes, the most shares, the most followers. Yeah, it can be so damaging to the youth because they want validation, and if they don't get like a certain number of validation likes or followers, then things can just go downhill from there, So yeah, the amount of followers a person has can lead to serious mental health issues. Thank you, Luandi. Nelson, you up?
Good evening, everyone. I am of the opinion that social media has indeed been linked to mental health issue among African youth, with the extensive of using it contributing to anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem and feeling of inadequacy. So because young people, when they see other young people on social media having what they don't have, they look down on themselves. And as a matter of fact, they lose courage. And another thing about them is a lifestyle. So lifestyle on the social media also can lead to a feeling of inadequacy, low self-esteem. So as I said earlier, young people they tend to compare themselves with others, wanting what others are having. Also, cyberbullying, online harassment can also cause the emotional distress and anxiety and depression. Also, we have addiction. Social media design tend to prioritize online in the action rather than what is important. So people now they don't have a genuine conversation, don't have a genuine conversation. So
Yeah.
line, and also there's unexpected, unrealistic expectations. So everything is just fake, and it is really a disaster.
Yeah. Thank you, Nelson. Yeah, all those points that you said does contribute because there's this thing of like when you see social media and you look at this person like, no man, what this person and how this person lives is just too good to be true. But then in somewhere in your mind you're like, oh, I can also be like this, or I can also do this. Reality says no, you cannot do that. It's impossible. So yeah, all those points are valid. Thank you, Nelson. Tebucho, yes, you're next. Hello, Tebucho. Ooh, Tebucho, we cannot hear you. Please unmute yourself. Okay. Okay, we'll go back to table. Oh,
Hello, can you hear me now?
yes, now we can hear you.
Oh, okay, wonderful. I just want to say that social media is just a tool. It can bring about either harm or healing. It just depends on a matter of personal responsibility. First, my mental health is my responsibility, whether online or offline. So I have to have digital literacy and time management skills as well as healthy online habits for the platform to become a positive tool. But however, I just want to know the benefits of social media. We have digital empowerment and expression, whereby youth are able to express themselves and to express their brands and build their brands online, where they'll be able to network with other people, even globally, and find these opportunities where they'll be able to earn income and stuff like that. And this boosts their self-esteem, whereby traditional environments offer limited opportunities. I would lastly like to say that social media can amplify awareness and support networks. In where the traditional systems or the traditional environments fail, social media, has platforms that like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, whereby youth are empowered. They have access to educational content, inspirational content, therapy resources, and peer support groups that were previously unavailable in the traditional setup. Thank you. That's my intake.
All right, thank you, Tebogo. Yeah, it does have benefits and threats. So yeah. And you're right about the personal responsibility part. I think I wrote an article about that, where you need to have personal responsibility. Like you must just be like be accountable for what you post, when you post, where you post. So yeah. Those points that you said are valid. Thank you, Tebogo. Okay, next is Mawa. After Mawa is Kaolate. After Kaolate is Bello. After Bello is Hannes. Go for it, Mawa.
Hello, everyone. To me, I would consider social media as an example of, or a phenomenon of paradox. Like here, if we're talking about, social media, actually it reinforces isolation. So it's supposed to be social, but meanwhile, reinforcing isolation. Meanwhile, if we're talking about, receiving information about mental health issues through social media, actually it's the same space that sometimes hunts some people down, maybe for some kind of mental health issues, leading it to cyberbullying. Meanwhile, it's just a reflection of what some communities would look like, because actually we're talking about the social media just like an empty space, and you can furniture it with whatever kind of furniture that you choose. It can be positive, it can be negative. So it depends on what people are going to share in this space. If they're going to share something positive, it's going to turn positive. If they're going to share something negative, it's going to turn negative. So it can be everything and the opposite at the same time.
Yeah, true. Because especially now, like these days, now you have to be careful of what you post, how you post it, and what words you say, so that you don't offend a certain group. So yeah, what you said is valid. Thank you, Mawa. Khaolate, you have the floor. Hello, Khaolate.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. I heard somebody, I forgot, Nelson, I think. Yes, he mentioned something about social media being what's the root cause of a lot of these issues that we see, cyberbullying. He mentioned a whole lot of those very good points indeed. But I just want to come up and say that there is a problem of using Western data in Africa. We cannot take information that is recorded in the Western culture or in the Western world and then try to blanket approach it with our African scenario. We do not have data that is specific to our African continent, which links social media to mental illness. So all of these, or most of these studies are from the West. So we cannot directly apply them here. Although, yes, social media has we have heard of stories of cyberbullying and glorification of self-harm and everything on social media, but we cannot apply that until we can do our own research here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Halati. Okay. With regards to what you said, I will take South Africa, for example. South Africa, we do have these cases where social media has contributed negatively to a child. For example, cyberbullying, depression, peer pressure on social media. Those things are one of the reasons why the youth has some bad effects. Like the youth and social media cannot mix. That's why our parents have this thing of stop being on social media, do something, you know. So yeah, but you're right. There is no figures or data with regards to Africans. We're using the Western world's data and figures. So we need to figure out data and figures from Africa by Africans for Africans. So yeah, thank you, Khalat. Next is I think Bello. Let me just check the order. Yeah. Bello, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you very much. I completely agree with the assertion that social media have contributed to the rise of mental health issues. Because if we are to talk about this topic, I think we have to look back to pre-social media era and make a comparison and see. And I can boldly say that the era of social media have contributed to mental health issues in many ways. For example, I think unnecessary comparison. Social media has brought unnecessary comparison within younger Africans. We look at people's life and want to live that kind of life. So this has resulted to several issues, such as depression and all of these stuff. You know, we look at other people's relationship, we look at the good life other people are living, and we want to attain it by any means. So also, it has contributed to lack of sleep. You know, we are addicted to social media today. All of us inclusive, we spend a lot of time on social media scrolling, and which we stay up all night sometimes, and that creates sleeping disorders and insomnias. So I believe social media has contributed significantly in the rise of mental health issues. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Bello. So yeah. Not only social media has mental health issues, there's also physical issues like lack of sleep. Your posture is not straight because you're bending down on your phone, you know. So like examples like that. So yeah, not only mental issues but also physical issues. And if you do not get to the root cause of your mental issues, it will also affect physical, social, emotional aspects of your life. So yeah, thank you, Bello. Hannes, you're next. Hello, Hannes. Okay, Luandi.
Yes, thank you, Confina, for the opportunity. Yeah, what I can say is that social media, according to us here in Africa, according to African situation, sometimes push us in a situation in which is not within our midst. Just by want to imitate, and even went further to be drug addicts sometimes. I can take good example. Youth here in Africa, they just want to imitate those celebrities from other continents, the likes of Europe. We can have a situation whereby body image issues is concerned, which leads to low self-esteem, especially among young people. So sometimes through social media, we are being pushed to imitate some other people, which is something which is not within our own culture. The way how we use and even being influenced to drugs.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Hannes. Yeah, yeah, the drugs thing. Then there's the drugs. When you see celebrities, when this youth sees celebrities doing drugs, now they also want to do it. Yeah, that can have some very bad consequences to their health and their overall well-being. So yeah, thank you, Hannes. Okay, next is, let me see the order. Luandi. Luandi, you have the floor.
Thank you. So, in my neutral stance concerning social media as whether it is a catalyst to mental health issues or not, yes, in terms of addiction and academic disruption. In some African countries, there are cheap data bundles and accessible public Wi-Fi, which means that youth tend to spend areas or tend to spend long hours, sorry, online, which reduces their capacity to focus on their education. And a lack of digital discipline can also lead to, insomnia, poor academic performance, and emotional fatigue, as Pure specified in all the facets of mental health. So, yes, that's how detrimental social media can be. But then, in reference to Tebogo's stance, which had to do with social media being a tool for development and amplification, I think the missing piece is digital literacy. Because the problem in the end is not social media itself, but the
Yeah.
lack of digital education, which means that youth need to be taught how to curate healthy online experiences on social media, how to use social media in the right way that will not be a catalyst to the mental health issues that we're being faced today. So that is my stance. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Rwanda. Yes, yes, that is true. Discipline and responsibility and accountability. Something, these things, some of our youth do not have, and then it leads to these bad things like depression, anxiety, cyberbullying, depression, and then in worst cases, suicide, self-harm. Yeah, yeah. So basically, like these, as long as you have these discipline, accountability, and responsibility, then, and also digital literacy, then we can thrive on social media. It's like social media is not the problem. You are the problem, you know. So yeah, not to say you, just like saying you are the problem. So yeah, yeah. Thank you, Luandi. Mawa, you're next. Then after Mawa, I'd like to hear from someone else other than who has spoken already. Okay, Mawa, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So actually, there were different resources referring to brain rot as the word of the year in 2024. Well, actually, this kind of phenomenon refers to the decline in the mental abilities, or let's say cognitive abilities, which somehow affect the mental health in one way or another, because this leads to deterioration in concentration and the attention span, which means that people are not going to be able to cope with their academic achievements or their academic goals. This leads to a basic point also that may not be actually related to what you were talking about, but somehow is connected to the basic issue with mental health in one way or another, which we can call that we have pseudo psychiatry. Like now, everyone has the ability to maybe create a channel without having any background about whatever they're going to talk about. Specifically, when it comes to mental health, I'm 100% sure if you Google different YouTube channels, you're going to find a lot of them talking about mental health issues. But the question is, are they really qualified to talk about something like that? This leads to disinformation sometimes, and in other times, misinformation. And in both cases, we have a lot of problems because maybe you encounter some kind of issue. specifically when it comes to mental health issues. So maybe you start trusting some resources, but eventually you're going to find yourself trusting the wrong resource. So how are you going to find out? You have no specific way to find out. Like maybe you're going to find some people lie about their qualifications or lie about, you know, their ability to handle such issues. So this is a major point that leads to deterioration as well, because maybe you're going to find a lot of people trying to find a way out of the situation. So sometimes, you know, they feel too lazy to consult a specialist or a psychiatrist, so they can find it easier just to, you know, collect some information online, or maybe listen or watch some videos in order to get this information. This makes them a prey to disinformation, misinformation, lots of cases.
Yeah, true. Thank you, Mawa. Yeah, because you have these people like ordinary people like us, maybe, who are like, okay, do 1, 2, 3, 4, but then there are actual people, qualified people who can handle this. And now it's like, I would say you're not giving them the platform to express themselves, because they are qualified for this, but then you think you are more qualified than them. So yeah, it can lead to like some of these YouTube channels and WhatsApp channels can be like the people that are there are not experts, I should say, or not trained, or just like, what are you talking about? You know, so yeah, and people must just be careful and think, like, use their brain. Like some people do not they just follow anyone, whereas they don't do their research, they don't think critically. So I think another thing that you should have is to be critical when you look at these people, and think critically, you know, and also make your own decisions, you know. So yeah, thank you, Mawa. Anyone else besides those who spoke already, though, anyone else would like to share their thoughts on this topic? I'm gonna go through the list. Gina, your thoughts on the topic? Okay. Who's next? Josito, your thoughts on the topic? Okay. Lungelo, your thoughts?
Hi everyone.
Oh, you wanna speak? Good luck.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. For today's topic, I would say yes and no. Now, first, my yes is in the aspect that from the fact that major youths or this thing, some of their role models are basically from the social media platforms. And sometimes you see some persons will tell you, I want to dress like this person, I want to be like this person. Sometimes this can make them forcefully start doing things that can affect their mental health. You know the kind of family you are from, and because your role model is putting on this kind of shoe, and you are forcing yourself to make sure that you get those kind of shoes or clothes and bags, and also make somebody start having thinking about himself. Then next thing you see is the person is into depression. No, in the aspect that sometimes some mental health issues are not from social media. Some are just physical things that happen offline. So that is just what I have to say from my own perspective.
Okay, no, thank you. Good luck. So yeah, valid points that you made there. Like, you just want to be like someone, but then you don't know what did that someone do to get to that place, you know. So yeah, thank you. Good luck. Okay, Lungelo, your thoughts? Okay, noted. Khalate, noted.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you, Spirit, for the floor. I'm sorry, I wasn't really paying attention, just got distracted with something else. But going to the topic, I think it all depends on as you as a consumer. I'm not sure if we are talking about kids or as people who are active on social media. Can you clarify that for me so I can make my point?
Kids, the
Kids,
youth,
the youth.
yeah.
Because now you need to remember that the youth, if you say youth, you are talking for a person from the age of, I think, if I'm not lying, the age of 16 going upwards. Those are the youth. Those are the people who I think they understand better the social media. But if we are talking about kids now, then that's where we now have to start being very, very parentful when we or monetize the social media engagement or whatever that goes through social media if they are engaging on social media. But if we are talking about youth, then we are talking about the people who understand the social media itself and how it works and what is there and what is not there. So if it's does it affect mental health? It depends on the content that you are consuming as a youth. If you are a youth, then your algorithm will always be whatever that you want to be. Now we understand that TikTok and Facebook, there's something called an algorithm that's whatever that you always search, it's always that's always going to be popping up on your social media feeds. So whatever that you going through or whatever you search or consume, it will definitely affect your mental health. But if you prefer to search something that is educational, something that is that will make your brain grow or grow as a person, then it won't affect your mental health. But if we are talking about kids, then we need to be watchful on what type of content are they consuming on the social media. Then if we monitor that, I don't think mental health will be an issue. That's my point.
All right, thank you, Lungelo. Yeah, it's also a matter of what type of content they look at, like we as the adults, I should say, we should just check up on our kids every now and then, our young cousins, our young brothers and sisters, just check up on them, see what content they are watching, and just direct them on the right path. So yeah, thank you, Lungelo. Okay, so we have Khalate, her hand was raised, and then after that, Mawa. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I wanted to also add that it seems like I've been rebutting a lot, but right now I just want to just say yes. While social media comes with all of those risks, sometimes you find that for many of us in Africa, it's like the only space that we have where issues of mental health are talked about honestly and openly and freely and accessibly. Yes, I should say, because you find that our parents I don't know if they don't want to acknowledge that we can suffer issues of mental health, or it's a taboo basically in Africa. So social media offers us that safe space for us to talk with intentionality and with guidance. So like what Teboho said earlier, it can be used as a tool for healing, as well as, to add on to that, even though it can have its own negative impacts, it is also, I remember back in COVID-19, yes, when the world was shut down, it was the only source basically of connecting with other people. It stopped a lot of mental health problems from arising because we were able to express ourselves through social media, connect with families and friends like that. So it can come with a lot of problems, but it does offer solutions sometimes if used responsibly, as Rwandi said earlier. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Faulat. Yes, in some African countries, the topic of mental health is taboo. It's not some of them, like, they don't take it seriously, as they would a physical issue. So yeah, you are right. You're valid points that you made. So we need to just change that, and also during COVID times, we were all online. We tried to keep ourselves busy. We even connected with our family who were, in different areas. So yeah, social media can have good effects like connection, but also we need to figure out the bad also. So yeah, thank you, Halat. Okay, next is Mawa. After Mawa is Nelson. After Nelson is Luandi.
Okay, thank you. So, in spite of the various, disadvantages of social media, I think we shouldn't forget one of the basic advantages of social media, which is the financial perspective. Like today, you can find lots of Africans who could actually start their own channel and start having profits out of it in order to support their families or even to support their own businesses, to the point that you can find new business models that are built based on such experiences. So this somehow can teach those people how to manage their finances, how to even manage their life in general, because they have to be productive and they have to manage their time, they have to manage their resources, they have to interact decently with people, because at this point people represent their customers or their clients, so they have to keep their satisfaction. So it's like running a whole business just using limited resources. So this is a great achievement that that lots of people can achieve when starting something online using social media.
Yes, thank you, Mao. Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of good in social media, like your examples that you said. There's good in social media. It's just that some people want to ruin it. Some people want to be negative and all bad, and you know be a jerk, I should say. So overall, yeah, social media can be good, can be used for good, but then there's those bad people. So we need to get to them, because they are ruining it for us, so yeah. Okay. Rwandi, yes, you had after, yeah, Rwandi, and then after Rwandi is Bello. Hello, Rwandi. Okay, let's
Oh,
move on.
so I was speaking on mute. I'm so
Oh,
sorry. Yes. Okay. So the points that I would like to make concerning social media as a catalyst to deteriorating mental health is exposure to violence and trauma. We have videos which used to be filtered by social media. I'm not sure what is going on these days that social media cannot filter that violent content anymore, no matter how much you report it. But regardless, videos of political unrest, police brutality, xenophobic attacks with specific reference to SA, they circulate freely and repeatedly. And there's no psychological support for such in regard to the viewers that consume such content. And youth from conflict zones like Sudan, Nigeria, DRC, Mozambique's Cabo Delgado, they're exposed to these things. They often see their trauma being reflected and magnified online. So that is a contribution to mental health, to the mental health detriment that we're facing. But yet, on the contrary side, social media can offer an escape from offline stressors, which are more damaging, which are major contributors to mental health issues that we're facing. And those offline stressors come in the form of poverty, gender-based violence, displacement, broken families, and they are still these severe causes of mental distress. Not Instagram, not Facebook, not TikTok, or any other social media that we are claiming that is detrimental to the African youth's mental health. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So now the thing with the violence thing, this is just me. The thing with the violence thing, how do we censor that for the youth? Because actu- the youth can easily get that, and when they do, then they will either start to imitate it, or they would want to maybe do like do change, like do something about it. Hopefully, it's the second option. So, with regards to the violence and the drama of life, how do we filter that on social media so that the youth does not get that, and then they become sad, depressed, and then maybe other things, So yeah. But thank you, Luandi, for your points. Okay, Bello, you are next. After Bello is Tebogo. Nelson, is that an old hand or what? Okay. Oh, sorry, I was muted. Okay, so Bello, you are next. After Bello is Tebogo. Hello, Bello.
Yeah, hello. Yeah,
Go for it.
I think I just want to emphasize on one of the points the previous speakers mentioned, that social media is not the main issue. The main issue is the user. I think I believe this 100% because social media is a platform that is created for, especially now, it is all about algorithm and feeds. So it gives you exactly what you spend time watching. So I think one has to have emotional intelligence and self-aware. You just have to make sure that you feed yourself with those things that are very, very important. And also on the problems, I wanted to mention something that I forgot earlier. I think social media has also created mental health issues through deep misinformation. I think one of the great factors we're facing on social media is misinformation. People see a lot of scammers, a lot of fake contents that is in the expense of tampering with someone's mind. Yeah, that's what I think. And you mentioned how can we actually solve the problem of social media issues with regard to mental health. I think one of the best way to do it is through parental guides, and also I think policies of censorship should be brought forward to monitor and screen things that are actually explicit or something that is harmful to the consumption of the users by the social media or by the government agencies, I think. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah. Valid points made. Yeah, you must just have some emotional intelligence, like know what you want to see on social media. Have this thing of you are logical about what you like. You have values and ethics that are good. When you approach social media, you must have those in your head, and also have this thing of, no man, something just doesn't seem right. I know it doesn't seem right, and I'm not gonna believe it. I'm not gonna entertain it. Move on, So yeah, you should have that. But then the kids, probably some kids do not have that thing of, oh, is this right or wrong? Like us adults, So we need to guide them through. And then you said parental guidance. Yeah, we should also have that. It's just like to guide them through the social media thing. Yeah. Thank you, Bello. Tebogo, you have the floor. After Tebogo is Mawa. After Mawa is Luandi. Yeah.
Okay, hello once again, everyone. I just want to say, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to say, like, I'm agreeing with what the previous speakers are saying. Social media is not the direct cause of, these social ills in society. It's actually a mirror of what's already happening in our society. Even the same either collective or individual. Even if I was to see someone, an influence online, and they are a positive role model, it's gonna reflect on my mental condition. Do I see it as something inspirational to or do I see it as something competitive, or that's a threat whereby I actually see or I start doubting myself? But so it's actually a mirror of how I actually feel. It's not the direct cause, just a reflection of what's happening mentally, internally, and externally in the outside environment. But you did ask a question about what we should do when people see violence online, because, like I said, it's a mirror of what's already happening in society. It's not a direct cause. So we should educate, like digital or media literacy. We should, one speaker already said that we should educate youth. Like if something is trendy or viral online, you should question whether or not it's actually valuable or it's worth copying or imitating. We should encourage also constructive conversations, both online and offline. We should encourage constructive conversations whereby these youth talk about what they see, how it makes them feel, and how it triggers a response, how they act in response to that. Additionally, we should equip them with tools to act. Like we should have like digital activism whereby we have petitions, informative content, and hashtags to challenge the injustices that they see online, as well as creative expression whereby they use poetry, art, reels, and these express positive expression to comment positively on social ills or issues they see on social media, as well as connecting them to mentors and role models. We have a lot of positive African youth change makers. We should just connect them with these influencers, older peers, and we should celebrate their positive impact more than popularity online and offline. And we should, teach them to have values and purpose, faith-based personal missions, daily self-checks. So all in all, we should educate their minds, engage their voices, and inspire their hearts and just guide them, because it's not about the tool, it's whose hands is the tool in, and the condition or the state of the mind of the person, not the tool. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Tebogo. Yeah. Good points that you've made there. And while you were speaking, I had this thought of, should we introduce or incorporate media literacy in schools for the youth? So that got me thinking. I don't know how is that going to work or how it be done, but yeah, something like that. But yeah, your points are so valid. Social media, it's not really a bad thing. It's just bad people using social media, and then that expression of one bad apple ruins the whole batch. It's like that. So overall, social media is a good thing. It's just with the wrong people. So yeah. And then there's this question of, if we were to put media literacy into schools, how would it be done? Who would teach it? And that's a question that I asked myself. So yeah. Thank you, Tebogo. Mawa, you're next.
Well, actually, Sifui, I'll take it from there, from the question that you asked, which is really interesting and somehow connected to what I was about to say. So if we're talking about social media, like maybe in part, if we deal with social media as just, a business model, this is going to help us understand what's going on. Like based on the different points that we were discussing, this is just, about making profits or about just making money. So, you as a user, you're just, the product somehow, like your data, the information that you present, the interaction, because this leads you to maybe suggesting some ads, and this leads you to having more marketing, and this makes the platform more popular. So it's about you in the very beginning. So you're the beginning of the process and the end of the process. You're the creator of the content in one way or another, and you are the end receiver of this process or of this kind of service in one way or another. So it's all about you. Now, here is another question. How can we make users really aware of what's going on? In my opinion, it's about role model. Like since early childhood, what do children see at home? Most of the time, I'm not assuming that this is happening all the time, but most of the time they would see their parents stuck to their phones. I don't know, maybe you agree with me or not, but that's what I think. So if they see their parents stuck to their phones all the time, Meanwhile, maybe at school, they see the same is happening. Maybe with the teachers, while they're doing some kind of activities or something, maybe you're going to find some teachers just sneak in order to check their social media or something. This happens, and sometimes it's just compulsory, like, it's out of control. So if this is what they see everywhere, on the street, at school, at home, even when they have social gatherings, like family gatherings, they have some reunion, all people are glued to the screens of their cell phones. So whatever kind of information you're going to talk about at school, whatever kind of education you're going to give, it's not going to make any impact, because by the end of the day, they go home and they find a completely different thing. And we all know that children just copy what they see. They just imitate what they see. So if parents can control it, because what's really serious now is that most parents think that it's okay to keep their kids busy watching different videos, or scrolling down, or maybe watching reels while they're busy doing something. Some studies proved that this leads to autism. In some cases, it leads to late ability to talk and walk. So this have really severe negative impact on their health and on their growth, and of course their mental health. So in my opinion, simply, if children see the good example, they're going to imitate this good example, period. After that, maybe you can reinforce doing other stuff, but this is going to be the seed that you can build on afterwards.
Mm, mm. Okay, thank you, Mawa. We're going back to home now. The same thing. So yeah, it can start at home, It starts at home. If like the young children, if they see their mom and dad always on their phone, always scrolling, always chatting, the kids will see this, and then they'll also want to imitate it, monkey see, monkey do. So yeah, this thing of it starts at home, it really does start at home, eh? These issues, it really starts at home. Like the mother and father is the first role model. So if these kids see the parents as like a role model when it comes to social media, then then hopefully it will just be with them as they grow, because they're with their parents 24/7. So yeah, it really does start at home, eh? With the parents. Yeah, it really starts at home, and with the family, and then with the community. So yeah, it really does start at home. Thank you, Mawa. Okay, so we have a comment in the chat box. So Nelly T says media literacy should be taught by media practitioners. Okay, fair point. So we need to find those media practitioners. It mustn't just be anyone. We must find those who are, like media conscious. Yeah, it shouldn't be I don't want to use influencers, because I don't think the influencers have that media experience. That's just my opinion, but maybe some influencers can be media practitioners. Yeah, that can work. Yeah, thank you, Nelly T. Okay, let's see how much time we have left. Okay, let's see, a hand raised. Okay, so it was first Hannes, I think. Okay, so it's Hannes. Then after Hannes is Luandi. After Luandi is Bello. Then after Bello is Nelson. And then after that, after Nelson, we're doing concluding thoughts. Okay, so Hannes, the floor is yours.
Thank you for the opportunity. Yeah, according to our situation here in Africa, in normal circumstances, according to today's debate title, social media affect African mental through the way we imitate the programs which we used to see or which we used to experience on the social media platform. In normal circumstances, it is easy for someone to imitate a bad behavior rather than the good behavior. Sometimes other programs, the way we see them on the television or on the social media platforms, they are there to educate us. But before they reach their point, we can take that bad behavior which you are seeing being done by the characters on that platforms, whereas we don't dig deeper in order for us to analyze the context of that educative program.
Okay, no, thank you, Hannes. Yeah. So, like the youth, sometimes they're more influenced by the bad behavior than the good behavior. So we need to change that. They must be influenced more on the good behavior, the good things, than the bad things, or totally erase the bad and focus on the good. So yeah, thank you, Hannes. Luandi, you're next. Hello, Luandi.
Yes, I am here. So, with regards to implementing
Sorry, we're losing you there, Luandi.
or
Oh, Luandi, we
incorporating
cannot
media
hear
use
you.
in schools, I think schools can teach responsible social.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
All right. So, as I was saying, I think schools can teach responsible social media use by introducing digital literacy lessons into the curriculum. Since already we do have, how can I say, the basic technological use, like using a computer and using the specific software that, that requires one to be computer literate, I think within that same subject, the digital literacy could also be incorporated because it's part of computer or technological learning. So this
Luandi, you're breaking up there.
would include
Oh,
educating
guys,
learners
can
on
you?
online safety, privacy, responsibly. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, you were breaking up. You were like kind of distant, but now we can hear you.
Yes, sorry, which point was I making before I broke so I can continue?
I think you
Like,
covered the one where digital literacy should be in computer studies in schools, and then
yes.
yeah, from there.
Yes, so as I was saying, it could be incorporated into computer studies, which is CAT as I know it, and that would include online safety, privacy, cyberbullying, all those subjects that we covered throughout the debate. And those lessons could be practical using real life examples whereby you could invite an influencer or someone that actually knows or has been in that platform, student-led projects, group discussions, and even, inviting guest speakers, like I said, with influencers, mental health experts, and digital content creators. And by doing this, learners can gain the skills to use social media safely, wisely, like all that we've been saying throughout the debate. So I think that would be a way to implement responsible social media use through CAT, because already we do have the computer skills subject. So by incorporating that, it would give the learner a holistic approach, both professionally and within the social world, which is social media. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah, I can agree with you on that. The digital literacy thing should be in CAT, as like a practical and a theory thing. So yeah, maybe that can be a way. That can be a way, and it's all throughout the entire school career from grade 1 to grade 12. From grade R, like from kindergarten, maybe you start small, and to grade 12, so to matric. So yeah, it can be incorporated in schools, like CAT, for example. Yeah. Bello, you have the floor. Thank you, Luandi. Hello, Bello. Okay. Nelson, you have the floor. Okay. Mawa, you have the floor. And then after Mawa, we are doing concluding thoughts. Mawa, you have the floor.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Okay. Mawa, you have the floor.
Okay, so I'd like to talk about addiction as one of the negative impacts of using social media a lot or excessive use of social media. So we're going to talk about it as addiction. So I think it should be also treated the same way that any other kind of addiction should be treated, because this is, according to science, connected to the dopamine. So if we're talking about being addicted to having reels for a long time, this makes any other kind of motivation or passion is not exerting the same amount of dopamine. So this leads to this kind of negative behavior and maybe procrastination or having any kind of negative impact on personal achievements. So in this case, I think science should be included in the process too. And since we were talking about having digital literacy or social media literacy at school, maybe this should be a part of the process as well, like to get people introduced to the idea of being addicted and how this can impact the way people behave, just the same way that any other kind of addiction can have the same impact. So this is going to make people understand how dangerous it is, and hopefully maybe this is going to help them avoid it, or at least understand where they're going when they start this process.
Yeah. Thank you, Mawa. Yeah, that's actually a good point. So yeah, that can be also incorporated in media literacy. Yeah, thank you, Mawa. Okay, now we are at the part of the debate where we do concluding thoughts, concluding statements. So would anyone like to do their closing thoughts? Maybe a solution on how to fix mental health issues? Okay, Hannes, you have the floor.
Yeah, once again, I give special thanks to the convener. As my closing remarks, social media is bad and good. The way it used implicates. Yeah, that's my submission.
Okay, thank you, Hannes. Yeah, it can be good, it can be bad. It's just the matter of who's behind the screen. Yeah. Thank you, Hannes. Khaolate, you have the floor. After Khaolate is Luandi. After Luandi is Tebogo.
Thank you. After all of the deliberations, one thing is inherently clear. Social media is neither good nor bad. It's just incredibly powerful. The future isn't about rejecting social media. It's basically about rethinking how we raise a generation that can use it consciously and courageously. Thank you.
Thank you, Khaolate. Yeah. It's neither good nor bad. Again, it matters with the person behind the screen. If you're doing it, and you must do it for good, be on social media for the good of society. Thank you, Khaolate. Luandi, you have the floor. Hello, Luandi.
Thank you. In addition to, okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So in addition to what like I said, while social media may have its benefits, the evidence is clear. It has significantly contributed to the rise of mental health issues among African youth. This scales from cyberbullying, unrealistic comparisons, to online addiction and exposure to harmful content. So basically, young people are left more anxious, more isolated, and under that constant pressure to perform. And in countries where mental health effects are worsened by silence and stigma, until we address the darker side of these platforms and promote safe use, social media will continue to harm the well-being of Africa's future generation. But then also, blaming social media for mental health issues oversimplifies a complex reality that we face as African youth. the real causes actually lie deeper, which would be in poverty, unemployment, trauma, silence surrounding emotional struggles. So, if anything, social media has opened doors for expression, it has opened doors for education and connection that were never available before. So the problem is not really the platform or the platforms in that case, because we have various platforms, but how we as individuals use it. And with digital literacy as a solution, strong offline support systems as well, and open conversations, social media can be a part of the solution and not really the enemy. So let's not forget that tools do not destroy. It's the actual users that contribute to that destruction. So when we're not taught, that normally happens when we're not taught how to use those tools wisely. That's when they can be a catalyst to destruction. Thank you.
Okay, no, thank you, Luandi. Good points there. And yeah, good points made there. Thank you. Debuko, you have the floor.
Hello everyone. In conclusion, I want to agree that social media is just a tool basically. So we shouldn't shift the blame to a tool, to any device or to any platform, but rather we should reflect. We should teach critical thinking to the youth. They should reflect before you post or repost something online on social media, and think to yourself, does this benefit my mental health or does it actually harm my mental health? Before I can produce or consume content, I have to think about my mental health first. And I should think about the mental health of the next person who's consuming this content online. Does it benefit their mental health or does it harm their mental health? For instance, if I see a trending video of violence, maybe GBV or racism, I have to pause and reflect, critical thinking, and how do I respond to that? I can, before I comment or reshare that, repost that, I have to think about how it's affecting my mental health and somebody else's mental health. That's critical thinking. And in order to do that, you have to go back to the home. Somebody mentioned, a previous speaker mentioned something about the home background. We have to go back to the home, instill values, our African cultural values like respect, kindness, love. So we don't spread hate speech, for instance, we spread love and kindness and respect. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to say. We should instill critical thinking in the youth. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Some of our youth have forgotten those African values like respect, kindness, love, compassion. Yeah, you are right. Yeah, some of our youth and also as adults, we have forgotten about it, and then instead we spread hate, disrespect, jealousy on social media, and yeah, it's just not right. So I agree with you with the whole thing that social media is a tool. It's not something bad. It's just the person wielding the tool is bad. So yeah, thank you, Tebogo. Bello, yes, you have the floor.
I'm sorry for the noisy background. In conclusion, I think the issue of social media could never be overemphasized due to the dwelling situation surrounding the media practices. I think we have all agreed on a point.
Hello. Ooh, lost you there. Okay, Nelson, your thoughts? Your concluding thoughts?
My concluding thought is social media is just a tool like other tools. For example, like a knife is a good something good that can use to cut, but when it's not used in a good way, it can be very dangerous. That's how social media can be as well. When it is not used good way, it can be very dangerous as well. As a knife is to use it, but when it's not used in a good way, it's very dangerous. That is how the social media is.
Okay, thank you, Nelson. Yeah, great analogy with the knife thing. Yeah. Again, it's a tool. Whoever's wielding that tool is the problem, not the tool itself. So yeah. Thank you, Nelson. Anyone else would like to share the concluding thoughts? Okay, yes, Mawa.
In my opinion, I think social media is just like, a mixed blessing. It can be the antidote or it can be the venom leading to deadly enemies. So it's all about you. It's all about how you use it for your favor. So if you can have control over it, which is easy, it may take a long time, but it is still possible. It's still controllable, but it just, a matter of stamina, like how hard you're gonna try in order to make it happen. Because, like throwing out everything, including the advantages of social media, is going to be a great loss. So if you can, exclude these disadvantages, this is going to be really beneficial, because we cannot deny the contributions of creating these social, circles of interaction in order to exchange knowledge in different areas, and this leads to, knowledge and more educational impact on different societies.
All right, thank you, Mawa. So yeah. Basically the same thing as everyone else said. Yeah, like social media is a tool. Just, just don't be the bad person who's wielding the tool, just be good. So yeah, thank you, Mawa. Okay, how much time we have? Okay, we have plenty of time. Okay, good luck. Yes, you have the floor.
I would say the influencers are the problem we have on social media. Those are using it. So for the influencers that can hear me, please don't instigate violence that you can't continue, that you can't stop on offline. Yeah, because most of the issues we're having is from influencers instigating violence that they can't stop offline. So all influencers, those that are using social media, they should use it to promote love, not to cause violence. So
True. Thank you, good luck. Yeah, some of the issues, the mental health issues, are from influencers. There are good influencers, and then there are those who are bad, unrealistic, kind of mean jerks, I should say. So yeah, we should be careful about those bad influencers and follow the good influencers, those who are for peace, for love, for entertainment. So yeah. Thank you, good luck. Okay, I think we have time for one more. Bello, you have the floor.
All right, sorry for the inconveniences. I was in a noisy place. I think the issue of social media could never be overemphasized due to the dwelling situation surrounding the social media practices in line with mental health issues. And I think we have all agreed on the fact that social media have contributed to the rise of mental health issues in Africa. As I said earlier, if we take a look at what is happening during the era when social media does not exist, I think there is limit number of suicide and mental health issues compared to today. So what is the solution? The solution, I think, there should be proper gatekeeping in the social media platforms. There should be also proper government regulations on social media whereby they sanitize sensitive and materials that could lead to dangers that could temper one's minds and thinking. So yeah, that's all I can say. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Bello. Yeah, the government can have a role in regulating and putting policies in place for social media. So that can work. Thank you, Bello. Anyone else would like to share their thoughts before we close off. We have about 10 minutes. Anyone else would like to share their thoughts? Okay, let me see in the chat. Okay. Okay, so there is no. So okay, my concluding thoughts and overall concluding thoughts. Social media is not necessarily bad. It's just the person that uses the social media, you know. And as everyone has said, social media is a tool. It must be wielded correctly, I should say. It must be used for peace, for love, for entertainment, for connection, you know. It must not be for bad, for jealousy, for violence, for like all of these bad things that are happening in our world. But if you want to show the violence and the bad stuff, you gotta show awareness. You gotta make it known that, hey, this is happening in this country. Let's do something about it. Let's let's do a call to action for social when we're on social media. You know, it mustn't be bad. I don't know where did it start, where it all went bad. You know, the person behind the screen is doing bad things, saying bad things, spreading misinformation, false things, bad things. I don't know how did it all start. But yeah, social media in general, it's just a tool. It must be used for good, for connection, for peace, for love, for awareness, to make someone laugh, you know. So yeah, and then with regards to the youth, it is up to us as adults to lend a helping hand, you know, to guide them through the path of right, you know, to make sure that they don't land on the wrong social media post and then they spiral out of control. They have anxiety, depression, they're a victim of cyberbullying or worse, self-harm, suicide, and then death, you know. So we as the adults, I'm sure maybe some of us have kids already, or some of us have young, you know, cousins, brothers and sisters, etc. We should just take care of them, you know, like kind of just look at their phones, like, what are you doing? Don't go to the social media site, you know, stay away from them, you know, stay away from this platform or whatever. But yeah, we like just parental guidance. And then also with the schools thing, again, I don't know how it can be like as a separate, a standalone subject, but as a start, it can be incorporated in computer applications and technology, CAT. Yeah, it can be incorporated in there. And then for the young ones, for those in kindergarten, can start off simple, like what to post, what not to post, you know, something like that. It's still a work in progress, you know, that thing of media literacy in schools. But yeah, it can be implemented in schools. It just needs to find the right ways and the right people to teach it. And yeah, I'm sure it will go a long way. And then also, we just need to have emotional intelligence, so thinking, responsibility, accountability, you know. What's this other one? Critical thinking. I think I said it, but yeah, we need to have those, you know, think before you post. Like really think about what you are posting or reposting, you know. Will this have a negative impact on the person on the other side? Will it make this person cry, or will this post make this person laugh? You know, so we should just be careful in what we post, when we post, how we post. And yeah, overall, social media is a good thing. You know, it's all about connection, love, entertainment. You know, we must just make sure that it doesn't get to the wrong hands, because yeah, that's basically it. So yeah, those are my concluding thoughts. Thank you. How much? Okay, we have 6 minutes left. Okay, let me check in the chat box if there's any response. Okay, none. Okay, so I think we have come to the end of our debate. Thank you guys so much for attending this debate and sharing this discussion. It was really insightful, really thoughtful, good ideas all around, good perspectives, and yeah, you didn't go off topic, so that's good. So yeah, thank you guys for attending. Good luck. Could we do a screenshot, guys? I'd like to switch on your cameras. You know, just a cover picture for YouTube. Unfortunately, I can't switch on my camera because there's issues. Yeah, there's issues on my side, so I can't open my camera. But if you guys would like to, like, maybe we just do like just see each other and just wave, and maybe Good Luck can do a screenshot. So would anyone like to just switch on their camera? Or are you all camera shy? Okay. How much time we have left? Okay, 4. Hey, there's Hannes. Hi. There's Bello. Hi guys.